On.
You.
So tell me. So
Nothing's
you
going
got
on.
the Tesla full self-driving demo, like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna get, right?
Yeah, you jumped right into it. Yep,
Heck yeah! I want to
I
hear
did.
what you think. Because I have not got it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I know Elon, and
He hates me.
he hates you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's pretty cool. I still would not pay for that.
No.
It's just too much money. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Like the one thing I noticed that you and I talked about, and the people in the office that have Teslas, they notice the same thing. Like the map view on the screen has really improved. It's a little more 3D. You can it puts it visualizes everything and puts it on this map, and it does it like at really far distances, which I was kind of surprised with. That's what I really noticed. But there's more detail, and I don't know if I told you this, but I was doing the self driving from my girls their school to our house, so I did self driving, just showing them like how it worked and stuff. And it will take the right hand turn for it takes turns for you, so it comes up to you sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but
Yeah.
um I put my home address in the map in the navigation, and it will basically take me home, right? So it would come up to the street, take a right hand turn, pull up to a stop sign, and then it will drive, stop at the stop sign, and then it will drive through the stop sign and go to the next stop sign and stop again. The one thing I noticed is that there was a pedestrian that was crossing. I was like, oh, I was prepared to like slam on the brakes, right?
Yeah.
But it was very cautious,
Yeah.
and as soon as that person hit the sidewalk, it took off. So it was like dead on, like pretty good. I would say like in California, I don't know about everywhere else, but I think if people were behind me, they would probably get a little frustrated because it comes up to the stop sign and stops and takes it stops, waits a second, and then it pulls up a little bit, stops again, and then it goes. And I think it's checking for like traffic.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It looks because the B pillar camera has to be able to like see around that corner. I heard it like creep up past like the stop sign to make sure
it
nothing's coming.
does.
Yeah.
But what it does is it stops first, and
Yeah.
then it creeps up, and then it goes.
It's weird.
Um, but anybody waiting might get a little like impatient, right? And they might just go.
Yeah.
But that would be the only thing. So uh, I tried it on the highway a little bit. I didn't want to mess around with it too much on the highway. It did. I didn't tell you this. It did pass somebody on the highway. Like
Yeah.
I set the cruise control, right. It's monitoring my speed, and it sets the speed. And then there was a car I was coming up on. It clicked on the blinker, and it passed. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know how often I would use it in the highway, unless it was like long distance travel. I could probably use it then.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. If there's not like a lot of traffic on the highway, it'll take some load off you on long distance travel. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's like a pretty big upgrade. Like to run on the hardware 3 that's in these cars, like they upgraded it from C++ code to neural network code that runs on the NPUs in these cars, and I guess it like offloaded the CPU cores, and now it can like basically do a lot more with this neural network code that's running on it.
Yeah, you're basically saying like it's a supercomputer at
Yeah,
this
it's
point.
learning from the driver's inputs basically, and then there it's uploading it's uploading what the driver did back to Tesla. They're running it through their supercomputer, and then they're downloading a new model into the car that's going to even do more things more naturally, I guess. So it
Yeah.
is a big thing. I mean, yeah, maybe robo taxis will actually happen. We'll see.
Yeah,
You
that
can
was
rent your
interesting
car
talking
out.
about. Yeah, the other things were like you can summons the car, you can park the car. Like I could park the car in my garage without being in the car. I
Yeah,
can pull it out of the garage. This morning I let it park itself. Like I was in the car and it parked itself.
yeah.
That's cool. So there's some really kind of like cool features. I don't know if I'd pay the price for that, but I could see myself using them occasionally, but not enough to
What? What would
to
you
pay that
say
amount.
is the amount you'd pay for this? Like, it's $12,000 or $200 a month. What would you actually want to pay?
That's a difficult question
Yeah.
because I was one of the buyers that bought at the high
Yeah.
end of the pricing,
You
and
feel
then
like
it
they
all
owe
dropped,
you.
right?
They owe you 12,000.
Yeah, exactly. So if
Mm-hmm.
they gave it to me for free, I'd be happy. But I don't think I would buy another feature because of that,
Yeah.
because I felt like, I've lost money,
Oh
which,
yeah.
you're gonna lose money with a car anyway. But, that stung a little bit. So I don't think I would
It
do it.
it's pretty cool to see that your car has this capability though, that you could upgrade. And and
Yeah,
and, and I'm hearing that they may bring that subscription price down now. They may have kept it artificially high just so they could test it. They didn't want a lot of people testing the full self-driving. Now that they
right.
have something that's more mainstream, they may bring that price down. That would make a lot of people mad that paid the full amount for it.
Yeah. I noticed, when it's taking a right turn on a street that
Yeah.
there's no other stop signs, like you have a stop sign, but it's just a street that's running through, right? There's no stop signs. It did kind of, it didn't, it, I had to like grab the steering wheel because it almost didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because I think it was, wondering, not wondering, but waiting if there was a car. So it like kind of
He was
hesitated.
thinking,
So I
yeah.
grabbed the wheel because I didn't know what it was going to do.
Yeah.
And so when that kind of stuff happens, they do a little message will come up and say, "Hey, do you want to send this in as like,
Why
a
you
report of the problem?"
disengaged? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they are doing that. And that's probably a little bit of me like kind of freaking out, like, whoa, what's it going to do? That kind of thing. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they said the disengagement's way down with version 12, and it is hands off now. Before this, full self driving it would say hands on wheel. Not that everyone does it, but now they've taken that verbiage out, I guess, so that you can take your hands off. You said the wheel twists really hard right when it's parking and stuff, so you want to keep your hands
yeah,
off.
yeah. You definitely want to, in instances where you're making a right hand turn, like I've kept my hands on the wheel, but it's kind of awkward.
Yeah,
So you kind of just let the car do it. And like I said, like with the parking, it kind of not spins the wheel, but it moves the wheel pretty quickly. So
yeah.
you just want to keep your hands
You don't want to like
clear of it. It's not going to hurt you, but
yeah.
it will cause the car to disengage, and then you have to do it yourself.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of.
nice, pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna make a video when I get it, if I ever get it. All right, so back to the Wi-Fi stuff now.
Yeah.
So Wi-Fi 7 is really starting to kick off. The ECW 536. We've been testing it. You guys are testing it in the office, right? You're all Wi-Fi 7 now, right?
Yeah, we're all Wi-Fi 7 right now.
Yeah.
So every AP in our office is running. It's a 536 right now.
Yeah, I've had another customer, did an install this week, so it's picking up more and more.
Yep.
And a reason why it will be picking up even more this year is because like these DOCSIS 4 cable modems are rolling out now with Comcast Xfinity, and
Yep.
they're going to be 10 gigabit service. So there's going to be more cable and fiber 10 gigabit service rolling out this year. And if you have a high end home or a customer that goes with that, right? They have the 10 gigabit service. You want them to be able to see as much of that as possible. You don't want them to be like, oh, why am I only connected at 400 meg, right? Because you put in
Right.
some Wi-Fi 5 access points.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely. I mean, yeah. There's, if you're running anything above a gig, right? I don't know if you disagree, on your ISP, you definitely don't want to do Wi-Fi 5.
Yeah, exactly.
And you definitely want to make sure you have the right cable. And so you have to start thinking about your switching and your routing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not your routing, but your switching and your access points for sure. So like Wi-Fi, I wouldn't even say Wi-Fi 6E at this point. I would say Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah. Definitely Wi-Fi 7 if you have a connection over a gig. I mean, if you go Wi-Fi 6, you'll see some of that. Maybe you'll see like 700 meg. But now with the even with Wi-Fi 6E devices like the current iPhones, you're gonna see over a gig. With Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 6E, but with Wi-Fi 7, you'll see over a gig. Now, what I'm seeing now, I've been testing my Windows laptop, and with the ECW 536, I'm putting up the screenshot, but I'm getting the maximum throughput, 4.8 gigabit connection speed, right? So I'm getting a data rate of 4.8 gig, which is the maximum at 6 gigahertz with a 2x2 client.
Which is amazing.
Which is amazing that I'm getting that, right? Now that translates to about 2.5 gig actual throughput when I do like a open speed test or something like that. That's about 2.5, but we're not seeing, even though it says aggregate link speed right here, this is only on 6 gigahertz right now. We're not seeing multi-link. I've been trying to test to see if I can enable multi-link. It's not, Windows hasn't pushed the update yet. Even in the Canary channel of the Insider program that I'm on, they haven't pushed the update to allow multi-link.
Yeah, and that's what we've noticed as well, is that multi-link is not being utilized yet on the client side. Right. But the APs are ready for it.
The APs support it. So yeah, you in the cloud you have the option to enable that multi-link. Now, when you do, now I'm going to show a screenshot from the Windows Insider that shows multi-link in action. So this screenshot, they're showing that there's a 5 gigahertz connection and a 6 gigahertz connection. And then the aggregate throughput is 5.7 gig, right? So faster than what I'm getting. And I could see it would go even faster than that. That's with a 2x2 client, 5.7 gigs. So you're gonna see over 3 to 4 gig actual throughput, I would say. Even more possibly.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're seeing like with all the Wi-Fi 7, 4x4 documentation, it has like these crazy high numbers, but you're not going to really see that with a client device.
No, you definitely won't.
But
if you look into the spec, it will kind of give you an idea of what like a 2x2 will do. I believe in most specs, what a 2x2 and a 4x4 will do.
Yeah. So
estimate all theoretical, right?
All theoretical.
Then you have to work back. You have to work down.
We try to spin it, but at the minimum, you're gonna need like a multi-gig switch or a 10 gigabit switch with Wi-Fi 7 access points to take advantage of that. 10 gigabit or even a 2.5 5 gigabit connection.
Yeah, and I mean, the 536 is a 10 gigabit port. We're coming out with the ECW 526, which is a 2x2 design, and that also has a 10 gigabit port. So you'll definitely get higher flow on, in the gigabit range, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna, even the 2x2 has a 10 gigabit port. So they must have either it's that like that. Well, the power requirements in that one are only AF or AT on that one. The 2x2.
On the 2x2, it's AT, yeah.
Yeah, so they must have done some modeling that, even on a 2x2, once you have multi-link enabled and everything, that you're going to be hitting up against some limit, probably over 2.5 gig.
Yeah,
sure.
Not
necessarily you'll go to 10 gig, but it's definitely going to be over 2.5 gig. So that's why they put it in there. But yeah. So it's interesting. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna sign up to be notified when DOCSIS 4.0 is available in my area, and right now I'm getting about 1.4 gig on my DOCSIS 3 cable modem. But I think in the next year
that's a huge leap, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. I think it also addresses, as far as cable goes, like the upstream bandwidth is going to be higher. Right now. With cable, you're kind of limited on the upstream, where fiber doesn't have that limitation.
Right.
But I think this new DOCSIS standard is going to increase the throughput on the uplink as well. So yeah, reason to install Wi-Fi 7, especially a new house, if like they're getting a new cable or fiber install, they want to see that actual throughput or more of it.
Right. Exactly.
All right, Brian. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
No, I think that's it.
All right, so I'm going to hopefully get that full self-driving this week, and I'll talk more about that next week, see what my experience is out here. And